tomorrow's papers. On the front page of the Financial Times, we've just been talking about Matt Hancock, who's the youngest person trying to take over from Theresa May's hit out at Boris Johnson, and the approach he says, which is sort of like screw business, but I can't say that word. Tomorrow on the front page of the Mail, you will be seeing Labour's Day of Shame, which is regards to the investigation into anti-Semitism that we've also been covering. And on the front of the Mirror, Jeremy Corbyn is expected to back a second referendum clearly tomorrow. That's a Brexit exclusive there on the front of the Mirror. I'm now joined by Sonia Sodha, chief leader writer at The Observer, to talk through some of the comment pieces appearing tomorrow. Patrick Maguire then in the New Statesman, what's he got to say?
So he's talking about Alastair Campbell's expulsion from the Labour Party, and he makes the point that on the one hand the Labour Party would say, look, he's broken the rules, it's really clear, he falls under sort of what's called the auto expulsion rule, which means that he's out, he's got 14 days to appeal. But the reason why it's been so divisive in the Labour Party is that at this time, just when Labour might be starting to inch towards, more positively towards a second referendum position, you're expelling somebody essentially for saying, well, they voted for another party reluctantly because they want Labour to shift their position. So it's not a great look for Labour, even if it is absolutely part of the rules. It's just not. You've got so many divisions within Labour at the moment. You've got so many senior MPs who are seriously cheesed off with the leadership. You've got more people coming out tonight, some very senior former cabinet ministers saying, well, hey, hang on a second, we voted for another party. Does this mean we're out too? So it's all a bit rancorous at the moment.
And Claire Short, the former Labour Cabinet Secretary of State, said that actually they should be careful because they might have to start sacking or expelling rather other active people in the party who are coming out now. So they may have opened that rule of auto-expelling.
Yeah, I mean, I think it'll be interesting to see, won't it? I think if the Labour Party does shift its position, as the Mirror's saying they might, they're not going to want to have a series of really big rows on their hands. So I'd be surprised if they go down that route. But then it does really raise questions about consistency. You know, if you're kicking out Alastair Campbell, why not some of these other people? And, you know, people have pointed out Jeremy Corbyn himself, OK, he didn't vote for Respect, George Galloway's party, but he did a very supportive tweet back in 2012 when George Galloway ran against a Labour candidate. So real questions about consistency, I think. Moving
over to the Tories, now 11 people in that race. What's the line from Katie Balls in the Eye tomorrow?
So there's been a lot of talk about a Stop Boris Johnson campaign from Tory moderates who don't want to see him go in the top two to Tory members. And what Katie Balls is saying is that actually it's not a very fun time to be a Tory moderate at the moment because of the way that the Tory leader is elected. Top two candidates selected by MPs go to Tory members. There's absolutely no question that at least one of those candidates will be a hardline Eurosceptic, a really hard Brexiteer. And what Tory moderates have got to do is they've got to think, who would they rather that person be? Because that's likely the person who's going to get elected. And something that may work in Boris Johnson's favour, who's a pretty Marmite candidate when it comes to Tory MPs, is he's not Dominic Raab. So Dominic Raab is even more hardline than Boris Johnson when it comes to Europe.
So it's about stop Raab, not stop Johnson.
Exactly.
And sadly, I've got to stop you there. Sonia Sodha, thank you so much for your insight tonight. That's all we have time for. I'll be back again tomorrow. Good night.